Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is Monatui, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys our NPL Season 7 Week 1 match versus Baby Rob, aka Pokey TCG Gamer 1288, coach of the Gotham City Golurks. If you're not done so already, please check out his YouTube link in the description below. Like I said in my team builder, this is a rematch from the NPL Minors Finals game where he ended up beating us. However, this week we are looking to get our revenge versus him, and we are looking out to start our NPL season off on the right foot with a win. So without further ado, let us just get into the team breakdown. If you've not done so already, my team has a team builder video dedicated to it. Definitely check that out if you've not done so already and get into specific detail as to what we are bringing. What we are bringing is going to be a Choice Scarf Tyranitar, our Mega Lopunny, 3 attacks Toxic, our physically defensive Taunt, Fire Fang, Earthquake Roost. Gliscor, we have our special defensive Reuniclus with Regenerator, kind of meant to be a sponge on all sides, and then we have our Swords Dancing Fairy Z Mimikyu, and we have our mixed defensive Ferrothorn with Stealth Rock, Spikes, Power Whip, and Knockoff. So looking at his team, no Victini, which is not the most surprising thing in the world. I could have seen it coming, but it was equally likely that it wasn't coming just because of my team and how it kind of deals with it, and the fact that I have Tyranitar to pursue trap it. We also see that he does not have his Florges, so very offensive team looking here, as you can see. Like, he has his Apoudon and his Jellicent, and then it doesn't look like anything else is really going to be all that bulky. Could be a Sizzler, but again, I'm expecting Swords Dance because it hurts my team quite a bit. Same thing with Roserade. I expect that to be more offensive because it deals with my team very, very well. And then he does have that Mega Sharpedo and Thunderous Core that I was very, very afraid of. So, without further ado, let us just get into this game. As you can see here, he's going to lead with his Roserade, and I'm going to lead with my Reuniclus, expecting that. That or the Thunderous, and I would have been able to deal with either. And now what I'm going to do is go for a Hidden Power Fire, kind of hoping he'd hard switch into a Sizzler, not expecting me to predict this early. But now, expecting a Taunt, I'm going to go hard into my Tyranitar, as he's actually going to go right for the Will-O-Wisp, which is a little bit annoying for me. I didn't think he'd Will-O-Wisp go Reuniclus, though looking back on it, it makes sense, especially if he has Hex, he'll be able to get the full amount of damage off onto my Reuniclus. However, I'm going to make a good play of my own and go for the Toxic, expecting him to want to go out into his Apoudon, trying to get his rocks up as early as possible. So what I can do now is, since I know he's going to go for his rocks, I'm going to go into my Ferrothorn and just get up my layer of rocks, because if he decides to stay in to try and attack me, he won't do a lot of damage, and I'll be able to start spike stacking versus him. He's going to hard switch into his Roserade. I'm expecting a Hidden Power Fire here. Regardless of what he goes for, Reuniclus can take it on very well. He's going to see that I'm Regenerator and not Magikarp, as he actually is going to be able to get up a layer of spikes of his own. So good prep on his part, good play there, expecting me to go out and my Reuniclus. However, now what I will be able to do is go right for the Psy Shot, getting some damage off onto him, and now because he is forced to recover, I don't think he's going to go for a Taunt here, expecting me to want to switch out, so I will be able to go for a Toxic and just whittle this Jellicent down very nicely, which is very good for me, because if it did Taunt my Reuniclus, it would be able to beat me 1v1. However, he is now going to go right out into his Sizzler, as I am going to go for the Psyshock. This damage reveals that he actually is defensive, as well as the fact that he has leftovers, so I'm actually now less afraid of the Sizzler and more afraid of the Thunderous, as well as the Sharpedo. I'm expecting him to go for a U-turn here, and I want to get chip damage off onto the Sizzler so I can win with my Mega Lopunny, so I will allow him to hit me with that. I am, however, going to over-predict a bit here. I expected him to keep going for Spikes, because like, the switch into Reuniclus was very obvious, but as you can see there, obviously that's not what happened. Ferrothorn's going to go down to the Hidden Power Fire, but this does allow me to go out into my Lopunny, and with Sizzler being weakened, and with this Apoudon being a bit weakened, and with it being poisoned, I'll be able to 2-hit KO this Apoudon with the combination of Return plus High Jump Kick. I'm going to take some Rocky Helmet damage, but we will be able to get rid of his Apoudon, so my Lopunny is now free pretty much to sweep his entire team. He obviously has the Mega Sharpedo, and he does have the Sizzler there, which can deal with me, but other than that, Lopunny has no switch-ins, and I will be able to hurt his team quite a bit. On this turn, I'm pretty positive he's going for Protect, but I cannot risk my Mimikyu losing its Disguise, or else I lose this game to Mega Sharpedo. Like, if he makes a crazy prediction and goes for Waterfall, I just lose. So I have to sack... I decide to sack something else instead of risking my Mimikyu. I end up deciding to sack my Tyranitar. It did its job, kind of, sort of, not really, but it ended up being burnt, and it wasn't that big of a deal anyway. So instead, I'm just going to go out into my Mimikyu after sacking it, and I can go for a Play Rough followed by a Shadow Sneak, which will be able to knock out this Roserade. He obviously didn't want to go out into Sizzler because it's relatively low at this point, and he needs it relatively healthy, and he doesn't want to risk me having, obviously, Ghost Team Z, which will be able to knock it out after the damage. So now he's going to go out into Sizzler. he can live a Z move if he does, if I would to have it. Obviously I don't. I have Fairy MZ instead of Shadow Claw, or instead of Ghost MZ. But he actually decides to go for Bullet Punch, risking me going for that Ghost MZ. And what I can do is knock out the Sizzler, except for the fact that Fire Fang actually does not kill this thing, which I was very impressed by, because as bulky as Sizzler is, I didn't think it would live a 4-time super effective hit from under half. But regardless, I'm going to go for Taunt here, preventing him from roosting or Swords Dancing or whatever he wanted to do. And now, expecting a Hidden Power Ice, I am just going to go hard out into my Reuniclus, as he actually is going to make a very good play and actually go for the Thunderbolt, expecting me to switch. However, because of my investment, he will not be able to knock me out with T-Bolt, and because he is going to switch out here, it's revealed that he does not have Gigavolt Havoc, which is really nice for me. I'm going to go for a Psyshock in this turn to get some damage off onto the Thundurus in case he wanted to set up Nasty Plot or something along those lines, and he's going to taunt me on the following turn, stopping me from going for Recover. That's not too big of a deal because I do obviously have Regenerator, even though the hazards are starting to take a toll on this Reuniclus, and I actually don't mind staying in order to get some damage off onto this Jellicent, because if I get rid of this Jellicent, which as you can see I do, I'm in a very good spot with my Gliscor, because that was one of the things that could kind of stop it, and now it is gone. Gliscor does beat his Sizzler, it can possibly take a hit from the Thundurus, and it can take a hit from the Sharpedo, assuming it doesn't have Ice Fang. So I'm going to hard switch out into my Gliscor. I need to, it's my only switch into that Sizzler at that point, and he is going to make the U-turn play and go out into his Thundurus Incarnate, which is a little bit scary for me. However, I do obviously have my Reuniclus around, which can take one Thunderbolt from him. If he goes for the Nasty Plot, I'll be able to just go out into my Lopunny afterwards and Revenge Kill it. As you can see, he sets up a sub. He will not be able to knock me out with a regular Thunderbolt. I could have gone for Recover there, but I didn't want to risk him going for Nasty Plot and then critting me on the following turn. That would have been really bad for me. So I'm just going to break the sub with Psyshock there, and then he's going to be able to knock me out with the Thunderbolt. And then we are going to go back out into our Mega Lopunny here. I could have gone right for Return, because I was pretty sure he didn't have T-Wave. But I didn't want to risk him being like random T-Wave, like one attacking Thundurus, even though that's weird. But regardless, he sends in a Sharpedo here. He goes for the Protect. His best play here is to, I'm going to pause it just real quick to talk about his best play. His best play here, obviously he went for the Protect so he can get the Speed Boost. His best play now is to Mega Evolve so that he takes less from the Quick Attack so that he will be able to knock me out. Because he, at +1 he outspeeds my Gliscor and he will be able to outspeed my Mimikyu. So his best play is to Mega Evolve and go for the attack zone in order to knock me out, as well as getting the extra bulk. However, as you can see here, he is going to get the speed boost, but he actually fails to Mega Evolve. I'm not exactly sure why he decided to make that play. He recognized afterwards that that was a misplay, because now, instead of possibly being able to flinch my Mimikyu from behind the disguise, I can just go for Shadow Sneak and knock out this Sharpedo, even if he does decide to Mega Evolve. Which, as you can see, he does Mega Evolve. He goes for Protect. That's not really going to help him out all that much. And now what I can do is go for Shadow Sneak again, knock him out. I still have my Disguise intact for the Sizzler, not that it's that big of a deal. Because he is Roost, Bullet Punch, and fully physically defensive U-turn, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be, what's it called, you know, the thing that I'm trying to think of, Swords Dance? Yeah, that thing. He's not going to be Swords Dance, so I can just go for the attack here. I can let him knock me out, and then I can go out into my Gliscor on the following turn, and then just go for the Fire Fang in order to knock him out. So, as you can see here, Gliscor is going to come out. I'm going to take the Bullet Punch very, very easily, and then we're going to go for Fire Fang, just being able to knock out the Sizzler. So we are going to win this game 1-0 over Baby Rob, coach of the Gotham City Golurks. So I'm very happy with this game. The team performed very, very well. Again, he did make the misplay around his Mega Sharpedo. He should have Mega Evolved a turn earlier so that he would have taken less from the Quick Attack. The game was still very much in my favor at that point, because 2 Shadow Sneaks from Mimikyu more than likely would have been able to knock out the Sharpedo. If he, even if he did end up flinching my Mimikyu, again, Gliscor could have lived a Waterfall from the Sharpedo very comfortably. It would have done a little bit less than half. He would have had to gotten a couple flinches. Obviously, that would have been his win con, going for those couple flinches, but he ended up actually not doing that, and we were able to get the guaranteed win out of it, which is very, very nice. So, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Next week, we are going up against Trev CL, coach of the Houston Toxapexians. Very excited to go up against him. We have, I've known him for a very long time, and I've actually never ended up playing him just because we've never been in the same league before, and thankfully I will be able to get that opportunity with this upcoming week. So regardless, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, check out Rob in the description below, and I hope you're looking forward to the next game.